Today, I want to talk about the career design process, why I use the career assessments that I do, and why I place such a big emphasis on strengths and career design elements. First of all, I want you to know that career assessments are useful, but they're limited. Most of them aren't scientifically valid, which means that what they are measuring does not cut the mustard with academics as being specific enough or scientifically reliable, which means that what is assessed may change over time. But after all, these assessments are trying to measure humans, and we're not all that specific in how we describe ourselves, and we certainly have been known to change over time. Plus, many assessments are tied to potential job titles, which means that INFPs, Myers-Briggs code, should be great as a dental hygienist. And I say, as an INFP with shaky hands, I do not want Myers-Briggs to determine who has sharp, pointy things in my mouth. However, I still find them useful, just not in the ways that they are typically used. One of the reasons why I place such a strong emphasis on assessments is because many people struggle with identifying their strengths. If they're able to say things, they're fairly generic, and they kind of run out after 5 or 10 different items that they're able to think of. And the assessments that I use, specifically a version of the Myers-Briggs, a version of an interest inventory, and a value sort, is because at the end of each of those assessments, you're given a list of 3 different things to choose from. And the assessments help give us a shortcut to narrow in on some things that might best describe you. So instead of giving you a list of 5,000 different strengths that might apply to you, you get a list of 20. And then you get another list of 20, and then another list of 20. You choose the ones that are most relevant for you, and you end up with 50 different strengths that you would not have come up with on your own. So this is why the assessments can be super useful. They also can help you think through some of your challenges. And there's one other aspect of going through these different assessments, and that is what I call identifying your career design essentials. These are aspects of a job that are a good fit for you. And these assessments, again, narrow the field from, 15,000 to 25 or even 50 that help you understand what kind of workplace you will thrive in. And once you understand that, then you can start measuring companies, job titles, and career paths against the things that are best fit for you. So the first aspect of my career design studio is looking at your raw materials. Again, though your raw materials are yourself. So what I want you to identify are your strengths, your challenges, your goals, your dreams, and basically look at things holistically to see what kind of life is going to be meaningful and fulfilling to you. You can't create that if you don't describe it. And so the raw elements stage is where you just kind of hunker down and take a look at who you are. So I have chosen the assessments that I have because they fit fairly easily into giving you ideas for those 3 categories: your strengths, your challenges, your career design essentials. But there is a specific activity called Strengths and Challenges, which, titling is not super creative, but straightforward enough. And so you can take a look at what you have selected up until then. So if you're going through it, step by step, there'll be a long list of different strengths and challenges that you've identified resonate for you. And from there, you're encouraged to add some more. And so if there are some assessments or some experiences that you've had that have identified strengths that you want to incorporate that aren't in My Career Design Studio, then go ahead and incorporate them. Just add them there. Because what you want to then do are select the strengths that you have that you want to use in your job. You want to take a look at the challenges that you have and identify the ones that you want to minimize. Because what I want to help you avoid is situations that I've gotten myself into where I can do the job, I can even do it well, but that's only because I am working really hard to overcome my challenges. So an INFP is someone who's introverted, who thinks more big picture, who is very concerned with people's feelings, and who is, kind of a go with the flow kind of person, and always looking for new ideas. Not the best personality traits to be a project manager, where you have to be very systematized, very detail-oriented, and get things done regardless of how people feel about them. And yet, I have been a successful project manager for a short amount of time until I burnt out. And so what I want you to do is find yourself jobs that mostly utilize your strengths, and not only any old strength that you have, but the strengths that you enjoy using. We're all going to have to do work that we don't enjoy or that we're not that great at, but that should be minimal. That should be less than 30% of your job. If it's more than that, you're really going against your grain, trying to be someone that you're not. And eventually you're going to pay a price for that, whether that's not getting promoted or whether that's your health going down the toilet. So as you're going through the raw materials section, as you're doing these different activities, think through, what am I good at? What do I enjoy doing? Think through some of the other activities, your ideal day. What kind of schedule brings out my best? Are you a morning person? Are you a night person? That doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to find a job if that's a perfect fit for your ideal day, but it gives you something to work toward. And I'll tell you what, I did an ideal day activity when I was in my 20s. And for about 15 years, I was doing work that did not fit my ideal day at all. However, now I am. Now that I have complete control over my schedule, I've been able to build my day around what works for me. And I would not have done it if I hadn't thought it through. If I hadn't thought, when do I want to wake up? When do I want to go to sleep? When are the times that I'm strongest to do my writing or my thinking or my interacting with people? And then creating a schedule based on that. So even if you don't find a job that fits you tomorrow, you can still work towards that in your future. So then the third thing that I want to talk about are your career design essentials. And that's not going to show up very much in the raw materials section, but once you're finished with that, the next activity under the napkin sketch is a list of your career design essentials. And again, these are the things that the different activities that you've done up until now um, have, where you have identified what is important to you in your job. And then you can take a look at that. You can add some more. And because some things are going to come up as you're doing these activities or as you're talking to people or as you're talking to me, add those to your list. And then after that, I want you to prioritize them. So then you pick your top 5. What is going to, what I'm calling your need to haves. What are the things that if you don't have, you're not going to be a very happy camper? What are the nice to haves? And that can be a super duper long list, all the things that would make your job enjoyable. And then what's icing on the cake? What would be super great for you? But again, if you don't have it, you're not going to die. You're not going to melt into a blibbering puddle of goo. And again, then that becomes your basis for the type of work that you're going to do. So that is how my career design studio and myself, how we use different kinds of career assessments. And that's the goal, is to find work that builds on your strengths, to find work that fits you as a person, and that allows you to have the life that you truly want. So keep digging in, keep moving forward. If you haven't already, sign up for the 7-day free trial of my Career Design Studio, to be found at careerdesign.studio. And then get cracking. Start figuring out what's going to be your right fit career. Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow.